So who's ready for the 21-day fix? Yay! So I just wanted to do a little video on meal prep because I know that's kind of like the most intimidating thing to a lot of people. And they get the pack in the mail and all these containers and they're like, how do I turn this into meals for the whole week? And I have to measure out food. So I just wanted to kind of ease some people's fears and just show them how really easy the meal prep can be. So I'm just going to do kind of like a little intro. If you want anything more in depth or have questions about any specific thing that you see in the video, please don't hesitate to give me an email or a text or Facebook message or whatever. But I hope you enjoy, and I hope this helps to make things a little bit more clear and make a little bit more sense. The first week is going to be overwhelming and it's going to be trial and error, and that's okay. My first week I almost caught the house on fire, so I burned a bag of ground flaxseed. I had it on the wrong burner and it was just like chaotic. I had the baby in the kitchen, so it's going to be trial and error. So the first week, don't freak out. I promise you it'll get easier. So right now I have my green beans going, and then I'm getting ready to make my quinoa. If your quinoa does not say rinsed on the bag, I recommend rinsing it. I use this little thing. I got a set of like 3 of them at Walmart for really cheap. So if your quinoa is not already rinsed, I would definitely rinse it in this. This is 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water. Occasionally I will take the water from my vegetables and just measure out 2 cups of that and then cook my quinoa, but today I wanted to just do them at the same time, so I'm going to do that. The quinoa, there's directions on the bag, but really you're just going to bring it up to a boil, and then you're going to turn it down to a simmer and cover it for about 15 to 20 minutes till it's nice and fluffy. And so that's what we're doing right now, is making the vegetables and the quinoa. That's usually what I start with. I prefer string beans, and I also like broccoli, but there's a million veggies you can choose from. Okay, so now I've prepped my veggies and fruit and meat and all that stuff, but I'm going to make some really good egg white things for breakfast, like little crustless quiches. But also I wanted to just show you guys my sweet potatoes that I use in exchange for my other yellow. And so I just dice them all up like so, peel it and then dice it and put it in water. And then I like to season it with a little bit of red pepper, some ground cumin, cinnamon, and the Himalayan sea salt, and a little bit of garlic. So they're kind of like more like sweet and savory at the same time. And then I'll just let them boil. Once they get soft, then I will drain the water and literally take a masher and just mash them up and have mashed sweet potatoes, and then you'll see I'll measure that out into my yellow containers. So those are really yummy. That's how I do my sweet potatoes. There's also a really good, in the files, there's also going to be a really good sweet potato link. It's a little bit more time consuming. It has a drizzle that goes over it, but those are really yummy too. This is just a little bit of an easier way to do those, so I like to do them that way. So I'm going to just season real quick. Oh, and I like to use some pepper too. I just haven't grabbed that yet. Oop, that one's not open. Let's grab it. That. And some red pepper. And then as you can see, it kind of looks like that now. And I'll just kind of mix it all together and let it come to a boil. Of food storage ones, I got at Walmart for like 98 cents or something, or I mean something super cheap, or maybe it's $1.88. I don't know, something very cheap. And then over here I have all of my stuff kind of ready to go. I don't always put it in separate containers just to put in other containers. I'll usually just take it right off the cutting board, but for purposes for this I wanted to show you. I have my shredded beef, I have my shredded chicken, I have, sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera, vegetables, I have fruits, I have it all, get out of the way, I have it all prepped and ready. I have my quinoa and my sweet potato. So we're going to come back over here. Da, 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 da.
In every single container!
And I'm going to kind of show you the best that I can how I do this. I usually start with the meat, which is going to be in your red container that you have. So I'll literally just I'll either do chicken or beef. I usually scoop them out. I'm not a big seafood person, but there's tons of seafood recipes, so feel free to have salmon or anything like that. I'm just not a seafood person, so that's why I usually choose these. So you literally just fill your red container with either the whatever meat you chose, and I just go down my line and put a scoop
and any kind of meat.
in each one. So I'll probably just for this do 4 chickens and 4 beefs.
And also, if you're a kid, you probably don't want to try all the stuff you don't like, just in case.
Well, you should probably eat this too. Watch out.
Only people who like healthy food can do it.
So there's the chicken, and then I'll go down the other side
And do the meat.
and do the beef. So now we've got beef, so I'll just do these 4 containers.
And also, if you like steak, you can sometimes eat steak. Because I love steak. So good and juicy.
And this, the shredded, crock-pot shredded beef recipe in the recipe file is amazing. It's so yummy. And so again, or if you just wanted to, because this would be a couple, I mean really you eat 1, 2, 3, 4. If you make a lot, like I just made a small roast and like 3 chicken breasts this week. But if you make more than that, a whole crock pot full, you can save the rest of the meat in a container, and that way you have it to make other recipes with as well.
Yep. And can we show Uncle?
So next we're going to do veggies, and I have all my veggies in here. Again, there's tons of options for vegetables. I like broccoli and string beans. That's usually my go-to, but you can do any of those. So green container. String beans are kind of hard because it's like how many can you fit in there? They're kind of a weird shape, so I usually just take a decent sized little handful of them and plop them on in there. And then like broccoli, so I'll do broccoli in one, and I kind of just switch it up randomly. I don't do like all chicken and green beans or whatever, so I'll just switch it up. I do a little of each. So again, with the green beans, it's kind of hard because they don't really fit, so I'll just take a decent sized handful. I'll scoop those in. I mean, you can do cauliflower, you can do asparagus, you can do steamed carrots, mixed veggies. They have the mixed veggie things. So whatever veggies you really like, feel free to do.
Yep. And also sometimes little sweets. That's sometimes.
So we'll just fill these last couple containers. And I actually am short 1 for green beans, but I have more on the other counter, so we'll do those. So that's that. So far I'll do a top view kind of. So that's what we have so far.
And our meat, which is all aluminum without any veggies.
And then next I'm going to do my yellow container. Again, there's lots of options. I like quinoa and sweet potato are my favorites, and I showed you kind of how the sweet potatoes. So once they were all done cooking, I just mashed them up. I drained the water and just mashed them. You can even put a drizzle of honey on them before you eat them, and they're super yummy. Some people like them cubed. I eat them like this. So I just take a scoop of the potatoes, and then I'll just stick that in right next to it. Sophie?
I was trying to entertain them. I guess entertain them, maybe.
So again,
You're
just gonna,
lovely Justin. Here's
Sophia,
lovely Justin.
you're just gonna, and again, I just kind of mix it up. I don't do all the same. That way there's a little variety, and you never know what you're gonna grab out of your container.
And also, if you're a boy, look at.
So now I did the quinoa, and so you can see some of the containers. Like that one has the beef, sweet potato, green beans. That one has the beef, quinoa, broccoli. So I just kind of, there's an overview. Just kind of mix them all around. Now I'm going to do my fruit containers, which is the purple. I cut up strawberries and raspberries this week, but sometimes I'll mix it up and do blueberries, a little bit of everything. So whatever fruit you can fit in your little purple container here is 1 serving for that. So I just mix the strawberries in those, and I will pour them right here into that container, and I'll just keep going till I run out of all of the fruit that I cut. And this is something that the fruit part usually lasts me for about 3 days, because really fruit, I mean, it doesn't it's not as fresh after a couple days. So I just usually prefer to just do a couple days at a time. So I usually fill about 4 to 6 containers with my fruit, and then whatever fruit that's cut up left over, I'll put in the fridge for the kids to snack on.
Yes!
So a couple of your meals for the day are going to be berries. You'll see on the meal plan, and of course you know you don't have to do exactly, but on the meal plan you'll see fruit and nuts for like 2 of your meals. So that way these are just ready to go. For the nuts, for the nuts is what I like to do, fruit and nuts. I will either do the chopped walnuts or the almond slivers. And so those go in your blue container. So what I'll do is, and it says like 8 almond or 8 walnuts or something like that, but since I have the chopped, I usually will just fill this container up about 3/4 of the way, which is probably equal to about 8 walnuts. So since they're all chopped up. So I'll just take my chopped walnuts like that, and I'll just literally pour it right in next to my fruit.
And also, have you noticed any different things, any different voices? There's other people's. This woman.
That's cool.
All right, so, and then again, right here. So I'll just kind of show you those. It's just the fruit and the walnuts. And then I'll do fruit and almonds in the other one. So then, get it on there. You'll have, that's terrible. Okay, so I finished up the fruit. So I put just my mixed berries, and I did walnuts in some and almonds in the other. And then some of them, since I don't want to have so many Tupperwares, I'll just put in baggies as well. So I have that. And then these containers I actually found at Dollar Tree. I'll put my raw veggies and then fill my blue container up with hummus. And so I'll just put my hummus in there and have that for one of my snacks, midday snacks, throughout the day as well. So those are all good containers. So that's kind of just an overview. Of course, if you're making for your whole family for 3 days, you're going to have more Tupperwares. You're going to have to make more, but this is just for video purposes. I wanted to make it kind of simple just to show you that once that's done, like if this is just me eating, that's probably 3 days worth of food. So for the next 3 days, I don't have to worry about making any meals. It's all ready to go. And then the orange containers, there's a lot of things on there, but I usually will do sunflower seeds. And then I also do ground flaxseed for my Shakeologies. So sometimes I'll just measure it out in here. I usually use like half of this per shake. So I'll just measure it out in here, and then every 2 days I'll just refill it. And then that way I don't have to get this big bag out every time. My bag that I use the Bob's Red Mill, but my bag, I had a little incident with it and left it on the burner while I was cooking the first week of prep because it was crazy and it caught on fire almost. So, needless to say, I have it in that baggie now. But as you can see, the meal prep is really pretty simple, and it looks a lot more difficult than what it really is. So you just literally get everything together, measure it all out, and then wash everything, and you have a couple days worth of food to go. Alright, so here is the finished prep. And as you can see, I have some fruit, I have some in the meat, and I still have some quinoa left over. So that'll be great for like salads or just throwing it in some meat or something like that. So I just want to say thank you everybody who's doing my challenges. I was kind of nervous at first about signing up for Beachbody because obviously I don't have a Beachbody, and I was kind of nervous about people being like, why are you trying to sell Beachbody products and a wellness coach when obviously you have work to do yourself. But I looked at it as I want to do this journey with you, and I think it's going to be exciting because we can do this together, and I'm a real person, and I'm not somebody with a 6-pack of abs already, like, you know, oh, do this and you'll lose weight. I can actually be proof and follow the guidelines and live this journey with you. So I'm really excited to go on this journey with you, and let's share our results together. Thank you.